Hi everybody, this is Zach here from Rydell Skates, and we're here to talk to you today about an exciting new product we have. This is our R-Fit footbed kit. It's designed to help alleviate pain and reduce some soreness that people commonly get while skating. First, let's talk about the R-Fit footbed itself. It's a high-density foam with a soft top cover on it. It allows for a lot more cushion and support for a safer and more effective skating session. On the back side, there's Velcro components that allow you to attach adjustable arch supports and heel wedges to it, which is really where all the customization comes in. Installed in the footbed is a blue arch support, which is neutral. There's also a red arch support, which is for high arches, and an orange arch support, which is for low arches. Installation and swapping them out is really simple. All you need to do is just peel the Velcro off and then install the new insert. The heel is another area of customization. You can use the included purple heel lift to elevate the heel in the boot, which can reduce heel slippage, irritation, or shin splints. Or you can use the included green heel wedge. It's angled, so depending on the way you install it, it can help correct pronation or supination issues. This metatarsal pad can be installed on the top side of the footbed to help reduce numbness in the toe and ball area of the foot. Getting the proper fit is really simple. What you'll need to do is take your existing...
All right, good afternoon. We're back for bout number 3 on this track. I am Nick Mix-a-Lot. I am joined by OC Diva. It's a bunch of firsts going on here. This is the first time the Cleveland Guardians have skated in a tournament.
Absolutely.
And this is OC Diva's first time on a stream call.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
I've done a bunch of live calls before, but this is my first time on WIFTA TV. And I have never called a men's bout, actually. I've seen a bunch, watched a bunch, big fan, but have never called one before. So, yeah, a day of firsts all around. Okay.
We are just about ready to get underway. We have got first jam of the bout. This is the first time ever for the Cleveland Guardians. They are unranked in the MRDA, and they are skating against the BisMan Bomberz of Bismarck, North Dakota. They are also unranked in the MRDA. Number 11, the jammer for the Cleveland Guardians, is Alchemist Prime. Jamming for the BisMan Bomberz, number 24, Sacre Bleu. He is lead jammer, first time out for the Bombers. Alchemist Prime sets off in hot pursuit, pack at a standstill, turns 1 and 2. Sacre Bleu quickly calls off the jam. Did he get the full 4 points? He did not. He got a total of 3. 1 point for Alchemist Prime, so that's the first points on the board for the Cleveland Guardians.
And it looks like the BisMan Bomberz, they only have 7 on the roster for this game. So they're going to be playing a whole lot of Ironman Derby today.
Yes.
I can't imagine how exhausting that must be.
Well, I've heard of an instance where a team skated with 5 for an entire bout and won, believe it or not.
Wow.
So to the jam line for the Cleveland Guardians, that is number 700, Ferret Bueller. He's one of the captains. And jamming for the BisMan Bomberz, that is number 7, Evan Rude. He is lead jammer. He's into the pack. He's around the outside. He has picked up 5 points. That's a grand slam for the Bombers.
A Rydell Skates grand slam.
Oh, apex jump. Leading to a wipeout, but he completed it successfully. That is another 4 points as Ferret Bueller escapes the pack. He's on a scoring run. Evan Rude calls off the jam. He picks up an additional 12 points.
There we go. So our score now, a couple jams in, we're sitting at 12 points for the BisMan Bomberz against 1 point for the Cleveland Guardians.
Jamming for the Guardians now, it's number 987, C. Payne. He is jamming against number 24, Sacre Bleu. His second jam of the bout. Pack advancing to turn 1. Sacre Bleu first out. He is lead jammer for the BisMan Bomberz. C. Payne picks up the track cut. That'll put the Bombers on the power jam. A Sakatumi power jam. Pack at a standstill, the exit of turn 1 and 2. Sakura Blue splits the last of the Guardians blockers. That is a Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
That pack tightening up there in preparation for yet another scoring pass. And with one more to beat, he does pick.
Aquila came together with Sakura Blue. He definitely looks like he got the worst of that, and Jam has been whistled dead for an injury. So medics are attending to the downed Guardian skater.
Safety is the #1 priority of any roller derby bout. Before skaters can take the track, before anybody can take the track, we need to make sure that there are medics on staff and on the premises. In addition, there's also equipment checks, gear checks, and everything from helmets.
A fairly comprehensive list of safety equipment that skaters have to have.
One of my favorite little bits of trivia when it comes to safety equipment is the mouth guard.
Yes.
Because the mouth guard is not just for protecting teeth, but the mouth guard is actually a preventative measure against concussions.
That's right. That's right.
One of those things I didn't learn until I joined Derby. I said, no kidding.
Hopefully you didn't learn it the hard way.
No, thankfully.
Yeah.
But during this injury timeout, we'd like to thank one of our sponsors, Classic Slice Pizza. Classic Slice Pizza is your friendly neighborhood roller girl-owned pizzeria, serving up huge slices, salads, and desserts, and appetizers made from scratch. Specializing in vegetarian and vegan items and the best gluten-free crust in the city. Classic Slice Pizza has been a proud Bruce City Bruisers sponsor from the very beginning. Stop in this weekend and grab a slice and a $2 tall boy.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
that's a deal there.
Honestly, a $2 tall boy. Maybe after my last bout of the day.
Yeah.
I might be heading over.
Well, I'll take a minute to run through the Guardians roster. Number 0, London Mauling. Number 1, Xander Danger. Number 11, Alchemist Prime. Number 12, Cinesation. Number 2, Bender Rules. Number 25, Old School. Number 3, Revengineer. Number 42, El Guapo. Number 5, Whiskey. Number 507, Aquila. Number 52, Cal Hell. Number 700, Ferret Bueller. Number 88, Beard Bard. And number 987, Sea Pain.
And I'll quickly run through the BisMan Bomberz roster, and there's only 7 of them. So number 24, Sakura Blue. 28, Clubber Ducky. 33, Rock'em Sock'em. Number 7, Evan Rude. 9, Thudwig Van Beethoven. 981, G. And 99, Black Mage.
Okay. That didn't take long.
No, not at all. And it looks like we're getting back to the action here.
Clubber Ducky will be wearing the Jam Star for the Bombers. And C. Payne has risen from his seat in the penalty box. That means there is less than 10 seconds to go on his penalty.
Yep.
BisMan will get the benefit of a power start.
And we've got full strength defense on both sides in front of that notorious RED jammer line.
And other than the jammer, it is an empty Potawatomi Hotel Casino penalty box.
Yep, and it looks like we're actually still in the timeout, and there, the whistle ended the timeout.
I think they probably just had to wait for the medics to resume their position after they escorted Aquila off the track.
Because you do have to have those 2 medics, or at least one, ready to go.
Right. And I'm sure they have plenty on hand. I've been in situations where we've had about a 45-minute injury timeout because we had to wait for the medics to return after escorting a skater to an ambulance.
Yep. So action about to get back underway here.
Score stands BisMan 22, Cleveland 1. Jam is underway. Clubber Ducky lead jammer for the BisMan Bomberz. C. Payne has returned to the track. Pack at a standstill in the front straightaway.
But it looks like Clubber Ducky is able to make his way through that pack for a 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
C. Payne doing battle with 2 BisMan Bomber blockers. He's going to be recycled to the rear of the pack. Has to go back into the front straightaway, thanks to getting drawn back by Black Mage, number 99 for the Bombers.
And it looks like number 2, Bender Rules from Cleveland Guardians, is headed to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box for a clockwise block.
And the Bombers have scored 9 points. They've completed 2 scoring passes. They've completed a 3rd scoring pass.
But it looks like, unfortunately, Black Mage is headed to that penalty box for a track cut, giving...
C-Payne.
Yep,
another penalty. That will put the Bombers back on the power jam. Another 5 points for Clubber Ducky. Guardians, this is their first tournament. This is probably going to be a learning experience for them. They're unranked.
They're completely new.
They call brouhaha a learnament. And that is, I think, what is definitely going to be taking place for the Guardians, as Clubber Ducky completes another Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
Well, Cleveland has actually had only one other bout before this one, and that was against Cincinnati back a couple months ago.
It was back in March. Cincinnati picking up the win in what is hopefully the start of a nice intrastate rivalry between these 2 men's derby teams.
I believe they were calling it the Ohio Cup.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So BisMan calls off the jam. They've pushed the score out to 59-1. Just under 25 minutes remaining in the first period of play.
So lining up for the Guardians behind that notorious RED jammer line, it looks like we have number 52, Cal Hell.
Jamming against number 7, Evan Rude for the BisMan Bombers.
As he tried to dance around on that outside line and unfortunately didn't quite make it, so he's recycled all the way to the back of that pack.
That's a bit precarious. You can get bumped out pretty easily by one blocker, but
Absolutely.
Evan Rude recovers quickly. He is lead jammer for the BisMan Bombers. Cal Hell still bottled up in the pack. Evan Rude tap dances around the outside.
Oh, but he gets stripped it up.
He shook that block off from Cal Hell. That completes the Grand Slam. 5 points for the BisMan Bombers. Evan Rude encounters the pack, calls off the jam. He picks up 1 additional point. Total is 6 on that jam. No points for the Cleveland Guardians.
So 66 for the BisMan Bombers to Cleveland Guardians 1 point.
Sacre Bleu back to the jammer line for the BisMan Bombers. A short roster necessitates a short jammer rotation.
That's for sure.
He and Evan Rude have pretty much evenly divided the jamming duties to this point.
But it looks like Cleveland's dividing them up pretty well, as Alchemist Prime, number 11 for the Cleveland Guardians, has that jammer banding on right now. And he busts his way through that pack.
Yep.
Clears it.
Blockers scattered in the front straightaway as Sacre Bleu approaches. He'll call off the jam after 4 quick points.
A classic hit it and quit it for Sacre Bleu.
And getting to jam number 7. We've got number 52, Cal Hell, jamming for the Guardians against number 28, Clubber Ducky.
And 10 jams in, 70 points for the BisMan Bombers.
Cal Hell, first out of the pack. He is lead jammer. That's a first for the Cleveland Guardians. Out of the pack, Clubber Ducky had to kind of tiptoe around the outside. He's finally out, eligible to score points. Pack is at a standstill in turns 1 and 2.
Clubber Ducky was also really hot on his heels.
That forced a quick call off of the jam. Unfortunately for the Guardians, no points scored.
And it looks like, to add a little salt into that wound, the BisMan Bombers were able to pick up 1 on that.
Yes, they were. Nice hustle to the 4th whistle by the BisMan jammer, Clubber Ducky. We get Evan Rude back to the jam line for the Bombers. And Alchemist Prime, number 11, for the Cleveland Guardians. Cleveland a 4-on-3 pack advantage to start the jam. Alchemist Prime bounces to the outside. He is lead jammer for the Guardians. 2 jams in a row. The Guardians have earned lead jammer status.
But it looks like Evan Rood has made his way through that pack and is approaching it pretty quickly. Oh,
Alchemist Prime fights off a block, calls it off.
And Evan Rood with a sweet little apex jump in there is able to pick up 3 points for the BisMan Bombers.
So that 3 points, that breaks a long scoring drought for the Guardians. 3 points also for the Bombers.
Our score now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Our score now, 74 for the BisMan Bombers to the Cleveland Guardians 4, with just about 21 minutes left in this first half.
Bend Her Rules jamming for the first time for the Guardians against number 24, Sacre Bleu for the Bombers. Pack advances slowly away from the notorious RED jammer line. Sacre Bleu out of the pack first. He's lead jammer. And Bend Her Rules sets off in hot pursuit. Bombers with a 4-on-3 pack advantage. Sacre Bleu tries to call off the jam. He's successful. And he keeps the Guardians jammer off the board.
He had a lot of assistance from his blockers on that last pass. It looked like, I think it was Thudwig van Beethoven who was able to execute a perfect screen.
It was a very, very precarious end to that jam for the Bombers.
Absolutely.
As they, one skate through the inside line.
Definitely looked like a perfectly executed screen on that inside line by Van Beethoven.
Cal Hell taking the jam star for the Guardians against Flubber Ducky.
74-4, 20 minutes remaining, and who's this timeout brought to us by Rich?
So we got a timeout here. So during this timeout, we'd like to thank Sakatumi. Sakatumi sells fun, funky socks. Socks with tacos, cupcakes, ninjas, mustaches, unicorns, and other things magical. With over 200 different sock designs, there is something for every personality, from punk rock to peacock and everything in between. Sakatumi.
Sounds like fun.
It does.
We also want to thank Derby Laces. Say goodbye to untied skate laces. Derby Laces stay tied tight and where you want them. Get yours at derbylaces.com. Try the new Spark metallic skate laces by Derby Laces. Super strong and super shiny. Get those, again, at derbylaces.com.
I might have to pick myself up a pair of those. So, lining up again at the notorious RED Jam line. Back to the action. We've got Alchemist Prime, number 11 for the Guardians. Lining up against Sacre Bleu for the Bombers.
Actually, it looks like it will start at the power table as Sacre Bleu is in the penalty box, so opportunity here for the Guardians to get back.
Alchemist Prime, he's been the most successful Cleveland Guardians jammer to this point.
Absolutely.
Bounces off a bunch of blocks, gets out, and he is going to be on the power jam. Sacre Bleu picked up a penalty.
Tried to do an apex jump, but wasn't quite able to make it.
Yeah. Bombers putting up a very solid wall. They lose G to the penalty box, and Alchemist Prime is through for the Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 5 more points for the Cleveland Guardians. Sacre Bleu has finished his penalty. He's out. Alchemist Prime, another scoring pass. He'll call off the jam. 4 more points for the Cleveland Guardians.
But it looks like number 5 Whiskey for the Cleveland Guardians headed to that Potomami Hotel and Casino penalty box, and I believe that was a pack violation. I think it was a pack destruction. Not sure.
Okay.
But we have a 3-on-2 situation.
Bit of a micro pack going on. Number 28, Flubber Ducky jamming for the Bombers against number 2, Bender Rules for the Guardians. And Bender Rules bounced out and forced to recycle. That allows Flubber Ducky to pick up lead jammer status. Bender Rules dishing out some punishment on number 33, Rockin' Sock'em. And he is out of the pack, eligible to score points. Flubber Ducky calls off the jam. Does he keep the Guardians jammer off the board? Yes, he does.
He does.
So a 4-0 jam for the BisMan Bombers.
So far in this game, it looks like Alchemist Prime is the only point scorer for Cleveland. And there's a lot of tough blocking going on out there. It's a really physical game going on. And especially with the Bombers playing with only 7 people on their roster. We got 2 on the track right now, 2 defensive men.
Blocker penalties could really add up and give them some trouble later on in the bout.
Absolutely.
Cal Hell taking lead jammer status for the Cleveland Guardians. C. Payne headed to the penalty box, and Evan Rude jamming for the BisMan Bomberz. He's out of the pack and eligible to score points. Cal Hell initiates a block, bounces to the floor, calls off the jam, but he was able to score 1 point for the Guardians.
So in little bits and pieces, Cleveland is working their way up that scoreboard.
Yes.
Oh, no, they actually added 1 more point on there. They actually called it 2 points for the Cleveland Guardians, bringing their score up to 15.
And back to action here. Guardians still with a 3-on-2 pack advantage. And still 2 BisMan blockers in the penalty box. Alchemist Prime jamming for the Guardians. He is lead jammer once again. Wait, that's 3 of the last 4 jams. Guardians have gotten lead jammer status. Sacre Blue out of the pack. He is eligible to score points. Blockers scattered all over the track. Alchemist Prime picks up 4, calls off the jam. Another hit it and quit it for the Guardians, 4 points. The Bombers have called a timeout. Now we'll get back to thanking our sponsors.
Absolutely. The Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Play, stay, and get lucky at Milwaukee's #1 entertainment destination. Table games, dining, shows, hotel, it's all there, only at the Potawatomi. Play all day and stay all night at Milwaukee's #1 entertainment destination and luxury hotel.
I also want to thank Turnaround Skates. After you check out our merch, need your name and number on a shirt, Turnaround Skates has you covered. We have reversible black and white scrimmage shirts for you to take home for only $25, which includes your name and number.
Again,
that sounds like a great deal.
That is a really good deal.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you that those reversible scrimmage jerseys are the most convenient and useful things out there. It is the best thing to have in your skate bag, ready to go.
Yes.
Love them.
It's a great thing because, when my league does scrimmage night, every once in a while, maybe somebody gets hurt or banged up. You got to switch some players around, and that's a great thing to have.
Yeah, absolutely. I use mine every week.
Yeah. All right, we have Ferret Bueller jamming for the Cleveland Guardians.
And once again, we've got a 3-on-2 blocker situation in front of that Notorious RED jam line.
And Ferret Bueller playing a little jammer defense to start. Then he's going to go face-to-face with the 2 remaining BisMan blockers. He splits the pair, and he is lead jammer. Several jams in a row.
Yeah,
lead jammer status for the Guardians. I mean, the scoreboard may not reflect it, but they're just hanging in.
Yeah, absolutely. They're getting a little bit of momentum here, getting their bearings, no pun intended.
Yeah. And the Guardians call off the jam. They pick up 2 points. They keep the Bombers off the scoreboard. They've closed the gap to 78-21. We're roughly halfway through the first period.
And it looks like they're shaking off those nerves.
Yeah.
Getting out onto the track for the first time, it's got to be nerve-wracking.
Sure. First tournament, the adrenaline is probably totally through the roof.
Absolutely.
They probably didn't need coffee to wake up this morning.
Yeah. Unlike me, I needed a whole bunch.
Sacre Blue jamming against Alchemist Prime. Sacre Blue out of the pack first. He is lead jammer. That breaks a streak of several jams in a row where the Guardians have lead jammer status. Pack at a standstill, the entrance of turn 1. Sacre Blue hits it and quits it. 4 points for the Bombers, no points for the Guardians.
82-21.
Yeah, just a bit of trivia that I learned today. We had the jammer Ferret Bueller. 30 years ago, the release of Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
30 years ago?
Yeah.
Wow, that hurts.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Hurts right here.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's been a long time.
Yikes. Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that in the theater.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
All right, we've got London Moling, number 0 for the Cleveland Guardians. Jamming against number 7, Evan Rude for the BisMan Bomberz. And Evan Rude earns lead jammer status. 2nd jam in a row for the Guardians. Or for the Bombers, excuse me. Pack massed in turns 1 and 2 as Evan Rude approaches. He calls off the jam.
after dancing around on that inside line, might have gone down, but he stayed in bounds, able to pick up those points, those 4 points.
That was a slightly messy apex jump for the Bombers.
You get your points, you get your
That's
points.
right. They all count just the same.
Exactly.
Clubber Ducky to the jam line for the Bombers. Against Beard Bard, a new jammer for the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah. Cleveland defense trying to set up in the front of that pack.
Yeah. Bombers with a 4-on-3 pack advantage to start the jam. Cal Hell and Revengineer trying to contain Clubber Ducky. They are unsuccessful. He's leading jam. Beard Bard attempting to play some jammer defense. He was unsuccessful. He has to recycle to the rear of the pack. And Clubber Ducky picks up a track cut. That puts the Guardians on the power jam.
So on that Sakatumi power jam for Beard Bard on his first jam for the Guardians of the day.
C-Pain trying to set a nice block there for Beard Bard. He gets him out of the pack. And that completes Beard Bard's initial pass. Guardians are on the Sakatumi power jam. Beard Bard enters the pack. Guardians with a pack advantage here. If they can help get Beard Bard out, they can put a few more points on the board. Clubber Ducky has served his penalty. He gets bounced to the infield by C-Pain, number 987. Beard Bard picks up the grand slam. 5 points for the Guardians. A Rydell Skates grand slam. Clubber Ducky going face to face with Cal Hell. He gets around. He's out of the pack. He gets 4 points for the Bombers. Beard Bard getting his bearings a little bit. There's the pack, still scoring. We have a full 2-minute jam.
Yep.
Neither jammer has lead status at this point. 4 more points for Beard Bard. Clubber Ducky recycled to turn 4. Looks like he has to do some readjustment on his equipment as the jam times out.
And re-engineer. Man, that's a hard one to say.
Yeah.
Headed out to the penalty box. After some fairly aggressive defense on his part, he knocked out the jammer a few times in that last jam. But he's going to be serving 30 seconds in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
Well, C-Pain has to be a little bit careful. He's sitting on 5 penalties right now.
Already.
Ferret Bueller taking the jam star against number 24, Sacre Bleu. Bombers with a 4-on-3 pack advantage to start. Sacre Bleu narrowly ahead out of the pack. He has to play some jammer on jammer defense with Ferret Bueller. Calls off the jam as Ferret Bueller approaches the pack. A scoreless jam for both teams.
And nothing but love between those two jammers as they give each other a nice high five coming off the track. You gotta love some good jammer on jammer action like that. I love it when a jammer gets.
It's great when they both come out of the pack and one's trying to play a little bit of cat and mouse with the other.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorites to see.
Alchemist Prime back with the jam star for the Cleveland Guardians against Evan Rude of the BisMan Bomberz. And Alchemist Prime has picked up a track cut penalty. That puts Evan Rude on the power jam for the BisMan Bomberz. Evan Rude swiftly through the pack. Picks up a quick 5 points on the Rydell Skates grand slam. And he's on the Sakatumi power jam. He's on his second scoring pass. Gets sent to the inside by Cal Hell.
And it looks like number 5, Whiskey, is joining Alchemist Prime in that penalty box.
Evan Rude picks up a penalty. A back block, I believe.
Oh, man, so we're going to have our first jammer do-si-do of the game.
All right. And Alchemist Prime was actually already standing, so his penalty was almost over. He's going to get about roughly 30 seconds of jam time on the power jam for the Guardians.
Whoa.
Does a tightrope act around the outside. That's his initial pass. Pack at a standstill, turns 1 and 2. Alchemist Prime takes a big hit face-to-face from number 33, Rock'em Sock'em. And he's forced to recycle all the way into the front straightaway. G forcing him back. Evan Rude has completed his penalty time. Alchemist Prime takes another big hit from Rock'em Sock'em. He'll have to recycle again. Neither jammer with lead status. This will go the full 2 minutes.
Evan Rude picking up 4 points on that last scoring pass as he was able to dance around on the inside line.
Alchemist Prime through the pack. He's got a total of 5. He started that scoring pass when Evan Rude was in the penalty box.
That's right.
And Whiskey drawing Evan Rude back all the way into turns 1 and 2 as the jam times out. That is a 13-5 jam in favor of the Bombers. Score stands at 106-35 in favor of the team from North Dakota. 35 points for the team from Cleveland, Ohio. Making their tournament debut this weekend at Brouhaha. Guardians a 4-on-3 pack advantage to start. Ferret Bueller taking the jam star for the Guardians against number 28, Clubber Ducky for the Bombers. Clubber Ducky earns lead jammer status. Ferret Bueller out and out in hot pursuit. Pack comes to a halt in turns 1 and 2. Clubber Ducky through. He picks up 4 points and calls off the jam.
And it looked like the pack there might have gotten a little bit confused by the whistles on the other track. We've got 2 tracks.
It's confusing when you're an announcer. I can't imagine what it's like if you're a skater.
Yeah, absolutely. We have 2 tracks here at the UW Panther Arena, and it's separated by a curtain. So we have voices going on everywhere. We have whistles going on everywhere. So it takes a lot of concentration for announcers and skaters to figure out which whistles are which.
Yes. Cal Hell taking the jam start for the Guardians. Guardians a 4-on-3 pack advantage to start. Sacre Bleu gets tangled up with 2 Guardians blockers. And he's going face-to-face with C. Payne. But Sacre Bleu shrugs it off. He's lead jammer for the Bombers. Cal Hell very closely out of the pack in hot pursuit. They're going to go face-to-face in the front straightaway. Jammer on jammer defense.
Absolutely. Looks like Sacre Bleu and Cal Hell are really mixing it up here coming into turn 1.
They're content to do that, and Cal Hell escapes the block. That'll force Sacre Bleu to call off the jam. A scoreless jam for both teams.
But still an exhausting one for the jammers as they face off.
Yes. Yeah, it takes a lot of oomph to go face-to-face like that.
For sure.
One if you're pushing and one if you're pushing back.
Yeah, absolutely. And, taking care to make sure that you're always going in that counterclockwise direction. That's the toughest part about doing a backwards block, is making sure you don't get that clockwise block called on you.
So Ferret Bueller will jam for the Guardians against Evan Rude. Bombers have a 4-on-3 pack advantage. That allows Evan Rude to get out first. He is lead jammer for the Bombers. Clubber Ducky drawing Ferret Bueller all the way back to turn 4. As BisMan picks up 5 points on that jam for Evan Rude. He's forced out by Sensation and Beard Bard. He gets back up, completes the scoring pass as Ferret Bueller approaches the pack. 4 additional points for the BisMan Bombers. No points for the Guardians.
So our score now for the BisMan Bombers, 119 points to the Cleveland Guardians 35, and we have about 5 minutes left in this first half.
Sacre Bleu back to the jam line for the Bombers against Cal Hell of the Guardians. Last time these two met, they basically went face-to-face for a full lap of the track. Bombers a 4-on-3 pack advantage to start. Sacre Bleu shrugs off a couple of blocks. He's lead jammer. He found just enough of a seam through the inside of the track. Cal Hell sets off in hot pursuit. Sacre Bleu, the spinorama around the inside of the pack. He'll pick up 4 points and call off the jam. So BisMan now with a 88-point lead on the Cleveland Guardians. We bring Beardbard back to the track for the Guardians against number 28, Clubber Ducky.
So those Bombers now rotating through those 7 people pretty quickly. We've got a fairly short jammer rotation going on.
Right. Fortunately, nobody appears to be in penalty trouble. There's 2 skaters with 3 penalties each.
It looks like we have one for Cleveland, though, that has 4. That's C-Pain. C-Pain sitting with 4 penalties right now.
Beardbard spins out of the last block and is lead jammer for the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians really giving Clubber Ducky a hard time as the jammer. He's been forced to the outside. Beardbard completes the Grand Slam. The Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 5 more points for the Guardians. Pack slowly advancing through the back straightaway. G has been the recipient of a star pass from Clubber Ducky. He skims to the inside. He picks up 4 quick points. And Beardbard will call off the jam as G approaches the pack. 1 additional point for the Guardians.
So it looks like Beardbard broke a 9 lead jam streak for the BisMan Bombers there.
Well, the Guardians had a little streak, then, BisMan took over. They're the more experienced team, and, that's showing to this point, but
absolutely.
Guardians just hanging right in,
No, and I think that they're shaking off those nerves. They seem to have really pulled themselves together a little bit and keep that defense a little bit stronger.
Right.
C-Pain has been really aggressive in the front of the pack against the jammers and giving them a really tough time.
Well, it's been high risk, high reward.
Absolutely.
He's picked up 5 penalties to this point. Sacre Bleu through the pack. He's lead jammer for the Bombers. Number 0, London Malling, wearing the jammer star for the Guardians. I think this is the first time he's jammed so far. Having a bit of a rough go of it with the BisMan pack as Sacre Bleu circulates again. And that'll be another Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 5 more points for the Bombers.
And we have another star pass for the Cleveland Guardians as the pivot, number 52, Cal Hell, puts on that jammer.
Well, interesting. Yeah, that's a becoming a very common strategy. You put somebody who jams pretty well in the pivot slot. Absolutely. So he can receive the star pass.
For sure.
And that's what happened there.
And we've been seeing that a lot already today, and I think that's going to be a theme through the entire weekend. I think through this whole tournament we're going to see a lot of star passes. We're going to see a lot of fake-out star passes.
Right, the star stash, things like that.
The star stash, which was used a whole lot in the first game today.
Yes, it was. Number 28, Clubber Ducky, taking the jam star for the BisMan Bombers against number 11, Alchemist Prime. Not to be confused with the Gatekeeper's Debaucherous Prime.
Right.
Clubber Ducky through. He is lead jammer. Alchemist Prime spins out of 1 block. Shakes off another one from G. He's out of the pack in hot pursuit. Both packs at full strength. This could be the last jam of the half. It might not be. I think we have enough time for one more jam.
I think we're going to have one more jam in our hands here.
So a couple more points for the BisMan Bombers. Score standing at 143 to 41. Cal Hell putting the jammer star back on for the Cleveland Guardians against Sacre Bleu of the Bombers.
Sacre Bleu, definitely one of the more aggressive jammers that I've seen in a while.
Yes.
Oh, and it looks like we had the whole pack get, well, either a timeout was called, or did we get confused by whistles?
So there will be, looks like a brief confab among the referees to sort this out.
And it looks like Sacre Bleu is actually sitting down in that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
And Cal Hell will get the benefit of the Sakatumi Power Jam. Last jam of the half for the Guardians, chance to go into the locker room with some momentum. Each team with a full complement of blockers to start. Jam is underway. Cal Hell going 1-on-4. He splits the pack. He's lead jammer. That'll start the Sakatumi Power Jam for the Guardians.
He was able to find that seam between the number 1 and 2 lanes.
And Bombers have shed a blocker. Cal Hell on his scoring pass.
But it looks like
no pack has been declared.
And Von Beethoven really giving a tough time at the front of that pack there.
Calhel going face to face with Thudwig Van Beethoven. Sacre Bleu out of the penalty box. He has completed his initial pass. Calhel on a scoring run. He'll call off the jam as Sacre Bleu approaches the pack. That's another 5 points. 10 points on the last jam of the half for the Cleveland Guardians. So they end the half on a high note.
Absolutely, with some momentum, and you know, this bout so far, you could see the nerves for the Cleveland Guardians in that first half as they've really just tried to get themselves centered, get their defense together, and
but they've really come together as a team.
Absolutely.
You know, they built some, like I said, once they shook that off, they've been able to score, maybe not quite point for point with the Bombers, but they're hanging right in.
When they get that lead jam, it's when they get that lead jammer status. They seem to do a lot with it, and they're taking advantage of the power jams when it comes to them.
Right.
But they're just clearly getting outblocked by the BisMan Bomberz here, who have far more experience and far more tournament experience and a far more experienced staff all around.
Right.
So, again, as we were saying earlier, that this is a learning experience for everyone here today.
Skaters, referees, announcers, everybody.
Absolutely. So, it looks like we'll be back in about...
just under 9 minutes.
Yeah, just under 9 minutes here.
All right.
All right. Thanks a lot.
See you.
And we're back for the second half of this bout of the Cleveland Guardians facing off against the BisMan Roller Derby, BisMan Bomberz.
Yes.
So
and we got a bit of, just to start off, we got a bit of information about the injured skater Aquila for the Cleveland Guardians. He is on crutches, getting iced. He's in good spirits. So that's good to hear. He's in the very capable hands of the medics on staff here. So.
And a big shout out to all of our volunteer medics, and not only our medics, but also our NSOs, our referees, and the fine folks here.
It's we, the announcers, the NSOs, the refs, were team other.
Exactly.
You know, we help make this. We help make the sport go. And,
working together.
We would greatly prefer that our volunteer medics could just sit and watch and enjoy the Derby. Unfortunately, injuries do happen from time to time, and they have to attend to those.
Absolutely.
But just to sum up, score stands at BisMan 143, Cleveland 51.
It's been a lopsided game, but at the same time, Cleveland is really starting to come along.
Yes.
I think the first few minutes of this bout, they were really thrown off by the atmosphere, by the tournament, by all the adrenaline, and they're really starting to pick themselves back up. And it looks like the action is now back underway.
Sacre Bleu wearing the jammer star for the BisMan Bomberz against number 11, Alchemist Prime. Sacre Bleu first out of the pack. Alchemist Prime right on his heels. They go face to face. Alchemist Prime bounces Sacre Bleu out of bounds. That'll force him to call off the jam. First jam of half number 2 is scoreless.
It looks like Sacre Bleu is really having fun.
Yes.
Doing some jammer on jammer action. He's really just...
He's aggressive.
He's passing through that pack, and he's turning around.
Yes.
So he's facing his opposing jammer in the eyes and taking them on.
He is quite confident in his abilities there.
Absolutely.
Evan Root, yeah. But BisMan has to be a little careful with penalties. They've got 3 skaters sitting on 3 right now. Rockin' Sock'em, Thudwig Van Beethoven, and Black Mage. Those guys have all been predominantly blockers to this point. So,
but when you only have 7 people on your roster, you've got to be super careful with your penalties.
That's correct. Revengineer sitting on 5 penalties for the Cleveland Guardians, as is C-Payne. So they also have to be careful. But C-Payne, he's out there. He's giving it 100%. He's not afraid of anything. It's kind of a high-risk, high-reward for him. He has incurred 5 penalties.
And right now I'm going to thank the Orthopedic Institute of Wisconsin, Dr. Eric Feifel of the Orthopedic Institute of Wisconsin, and Mosh wishes you a safe brouhaha weekend. They are here for all of your injuries on and off the track. Contact them at theorthoinstitute.com.
Also, I give a big shout out to Hinckley Productions. Has been a friend of Derby since 2008, providing live video production services and bringing you this live broadcast of Brouhaha.
I've been enjoying Cinestation's dance moves on the track there as he's standing in front of that notorious RED jam line waiting for this timeout to end.
This separates Derby from a lot of other sports. Dancing on the playing surface is encouraged.
Absolutely.
Number 7, Evan Rood, jamming for the BisMan Bomberz against number 52, Cal Hell. And Evan Rood quickly around the outside of the pack. He's lead jammer for the Bombers. Cal Hell going 1-on-3 against the Bombers pack. Evan Rood has approached the pack and has started his scoring run. Bounced to the inside by Cinestation and London Mauling. He's getting drawn back as Cal Hell catches up to the pack to start his scoring run. And that'll force Evan Rood to call off the jam. He was able to pick up 3 points for the Bombers.
The Bombers doing a fantastic job of bridging out their defense at the front of that pack, letting the blockers go as far as they can to hold back those jammers, giving Evan Rood a chance to come back around and score a few more points.
That's one interesting possible advantage of skating with a short roster. You have guys out there that know how to work together.
Absolutely.
And and that's showing right now. So they're just rotating a couple of jammers in, but they're keeping basically the same pack. Sacre Bleu wearing the jammer star. He's jamming against Beard Bard.
Oh,
Beard Bard took a big hit from G at the entrance of turn 1. Sacre Bleu forced to the inside, has to recycle. And Beard Bard picks up a track cut penalty. That'll put Beard Bard on the power jam. He bounces up, he bounces back onto his feet. He is lead jammer for the Guardians. He is on the Sakatumi Power Jam.
Sakurai Blue and G both sat down in that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box at the same time.
Guardians with a 4-on-3 pack advantage. Beard Bard starting his scoring run. He is not a particularly big skater. He is going up against the biggest blocker for the Guardians. That is number 9, Thudwig van Beethoven. He's sent to the infield.
Oh, and it looks like number 33, Rock'em Sock'em, who is also not a small blocker, is getting sent to the penalty box.
Beard Bard able to complete the Rydell Skates Grand Slam. He's picked up 5 points for the Guardians. Sakurai Blue has finished his penalty. He's out. Beard Bard fighting his way through what's left of the pack. A little hop, skip, and a jump through turns 3 and 4. And Sakurai Blue has picked up another track cut penalty. And the Sakatumi Power Jam continues now for the Cleveland Guardians. Beard Bard, nice block there from C-Pain, trying to clear a path on the outside. Beard Bard going 1-on-3. He splits the pack. He's through. That's another Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 5 more points for the Guardians. Pack is at a standstill. A 4-on-2 pack advantage for the Bombers right now. Jam times out.
And as it times out, it looked like Revengeneer was able to return to the track after that 6th penalty of his.
And he has to tread very carefully from now on.
Absolutely.
Sakurai Blue, that was his 2nd penalty. So, you know, with a short jammer rotation and a short bench, BisMan has to be very careful with their penalties. Oh, an official timeout was for resolving some issues with the Ringster system that's in place here at Brouhaha 2015. And if you have any social media interactions, please use the hashtag Brouhaha 2015.
I've been using it all day.
Yeah, I have too. Clubber Ducky jamming for the BisMan Bombers. He spins out of the pack. He is lead jammer. Ferret Bueller unsuccessfully trying to navigate the tightrope around the outside of the pack. He has to go all the way to the back. Clubber Ducky through the pack, a 5-point Rydell Grand Slam. Ferret Bueller trying to go 1-on-4 against the BisMan Bombers. And he escapes the pack. He was now out and eligible to score points. Clubber Ducky fights his way through the pack, including Old School and Cal Hell. Calls off the jam. 4 points for the BisMan Bombers, no points for the Cleveland Guardians.
So our score now for the BisMan Bombers, 155 points to the Cleveland Guardians, 66. And now lining up behind that notorious RED jam line, we have
Evan Rude.
Evan Rude, yep, that looks like Evan Rude to me.
Can't quite make out the Cleveland Jammer at this point. We will see that soon enough. That is number 12. That is Sensation. Showing off his dance moves earlier as a blocker. Now he's wearing the Jammer star for the Cleveland Guardians. Evan Rude takes a big block from Alchemist Prime, but he is out and he is lead jammer for the Bombers. Sensation tiptoes through the inside. He is out and eligible to score points. Evan Rude shrugs off a block from C-Pain, completes the scoring pass, and calls off the jam. 4 points for the Bombers.
And in the middle of that jam, Rock'em Sock'em, number 33 for the BisMan Bombers, was sent to the penalty box for a low block. And it looks like that's his 5th penalty of this game. So starting to get into some penalty trouble. And again, with only 7 people on your roster, that's something to be very, very careful.
Yes. And in addition to the fact that these guys are skating a lot of jams, the fact that the Guardians have a little bit longer bench, maybe they can take a bigger chunk out of this league as the bout wears on. Sakurai Blue wearing the jammer star. He's through quickly. He's lead jammer. Ferret Bueller has escaped the pack. He's the jammer for the Guardians. Sakurai Blue has entered the pack and is scoring points. He tiptoes to the inside. Has picked up 4 points, and he calls off the jam the instant Ferret Bueller approaches the pack.
And it looks like Sakurai Blue is trying to eat up as much of this clock as possible. He's waiting for these jammers to come all the way back around, and right as they're coming into the back of that pack, calling off the jam.
Very sound strategy on his part, and with BisMan enjoying an almost 100-point lead with 22 and 45 minutes remaining. Alchemist Prime wearing the jam star for the Guardians against Clubber Ducky.
Alchemist Prime is the lead scorer for the Cleveland Guardians in this game.
A nice spin move on the inside by Alchemist Prime. He's earned lead jammer status for the Guardians. Clubber Ducky is out of the pack and is set off very quickly in pursuit of Alchemist Prime. Alchemist Prime quickly bursts around the outside of the pack, calls off the jam. He has 4 points, but not before the BisMan jammer could score 1 point. Or 3 points, excuse me, for the Guardians.
3 points for the Guardians and 1 point for the Bombers on that last jam, bringing our score now to 164 points for the BisMan Bombers to Cleveland's 69.
Cal Hell wearing the jam star for the Guardians against Sacre Bleu. These two have gone against each other pretty frequently in this bout. Cal Hell finds a way around the outside. He's lead jammer. Sacre Bleu sets off after him.
Evan Rude being sent to the penalty box for a multiplayer block penalty.
Yeah, Sacre Bleu in close enough proximity to Cal Hell to force him to call off the jam before scoring any points. Rockin' Sock'em sitting on 5 points. Evan Rude, he's a regular jammer. He has to be careful with his penalties too.
Absolutely. Looks like penalties are going to be really the story of this game.
As time marches on in the second period. Rockin' Sock'em sitting on 5, Sacre Bleu on 4. Wearing the jam star for the Guardians, number 12, Cinesation, jamming against number 28, Clubber Ducky. Cinesation, giving the toe stops a workout. He shrugs off the last block. He's lead jammer for the Guardians.
Really fast feet on that inside line.
Clubber Ducky comes out. He tries to play a little bit of jammer defense before he got bounced out by Revengineer. Cinesation, unfortunately, has picked up a back block penalty. That will put BisMan on the Sakatumi Power Jam. Cinesation going to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. Clubber Ducky on a scoring pass. Both teams full strength in the pack. And C. Payne draws the track cut penalty on Clubber Ducky. So we will have a bit of jammer in, jammer out.
This is one of the newer rules that I enjoy, that the jammer who comes in second will serve exactly the same amount of time as the jammer who is already in there.
And he took his time, maybe hoping to burn a couple seconds off the penalty there. Cinesation he is now on the Sakatumi Power Jam for the Guardians. He spins out of the pack. He has picked up a Rydell Skates Grand Slam, 5 points for the Guardians. BisMan sitting on a 90-point lead. The pack is at a standstill in the back straightaway. Cinesation enters the pack rather forcefully. And he has picked up a track cut penalty. He was bounced out, went back into the pack ahead of the guy who pushed him out. So he will return to the penalty box. And that puts the BisMan Bombers on the Sakatumi Power Jam as the jam times out. 4 more points for the Bombers. So once we've tallied everything up, BisMan still has a 168-74 lead. Just under 19 minutes remaining. And it appears that the Guardians have pretty much traded points with the Bombers so far this half.
Absolutely.
That margin has stayed right around 90 to 95 points.
No, and I think the Cleveland Guardians are finally really getting themselves settled down. They're able to form those defensive walls at the front of the pack.
Sacre Bleu will start the Sakatumi Power Jam for the BisMan Bombers. He has earned lead jammer status. Guardians have shed a blocker, so the Bombers will have a 4-on-3 pack advantage. Sacre Bleu through the pack pretty quickly. He's picked up a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Sensation has served his penalty. Sacre Bleu on another scoring pass. He's getting roughed up by Cal Hell and Old School. Sensation being forced back by Black Mage and G, allowing Sacre Bleu to start another scoring pass. And he's through for another Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
These whistles are getting awfully confusing for everybody.
Not sure anybody knows quite what's happening. The jam appears to have expired.
Well, I think it was mistakenly called off. I think that somebody had responded to the whistles on the other side of the arena, and unfortunately, nobody had actually called off the jam. So
this may engender some discussion.
Shockingly,
but
no.
Ferret Bueller jamming for the Guardians against Evan Rude. Evan Rude takes the big hit from C. Payne. C. Payne not afraid of his high penalty total.
Not at all. Well,
Evan Rude out and lead jammer.
The Guardians have the advantage on the bench here.
Yes, they do. And a nice little sideways apex jump by Evan Rude. He completes a grand slam for the Bombers. Ferret Bueller trying to split what's left of the Bombers pack. He's through, eligible to score points. Evan Rude getting bounced around by Alchemist Prime and C. Payne. Forced to call off the jam, but he was able to pick up the Rydell Skates Grand Slam. And that pushes BisMan's lead to 192 to 74. Almost 120 points.
Yeah. And before this next jam starts, we'd like to thank Bruised Skate Nooses. Bruised Skate Noose, the original over-the-shoulder roller skate holder. Find them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or online at bruisedsn.com.
Skaters gather around the notorious RED jammer line. Number 25, a new jammer for the Guardians. That's Old School. He's quickly able to establish lead jammer status.
Yeah, slipped on that inside line rather quickly.
Yeah. Found a nice seam to be able to burst through.
Yep.
Clubber Ducky wearing the jammer star for the Bombers. He encounters the backside of Sensation as the jam is called off. Unfortunately for the Guardians, they scored no points.
But neither did the BisMan Bombers. So a scoreless jam, keeping our score at 192 points for the Bombers to the Cleveland Guardians 74 with a little over 15 minutes left in this game.
Halfway through the second period. Sacre Bleu back to the jam line for the BisMan Bombers. Alchemist Prime jamming for the Guardians.
Two incredibly strong jammers that we've seen in this game so far.
Two jammers in heavy rotation.
Yes.
Sacre Bleu through the pack first. He's lead jammer. Alchemist Prime right on his heels.
And I'm going to guess we're going to see a little bit more action between Sacre Bleu.
Face to face. Sacre Bleu bumps Alchemist Prime to the infield. He has to recycle to the middle of turn 3 and 4. Alchemist Prime dishing out some punishment.
Oh, this is some fantastic action between these two jammers. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
It's been a while.
And look at this. And the pack is
Bleu not afraid of anything.
No.
He draws the Alchemist Prime all the way back to the pack.
Alchemist Prime not afraid of it either.
Both jammers with a smile on their face.
Alchemist Prime dancing around Sacre Bleu, forcing Sacre Bleu to call off that jam.
Wow, after all that, a scoreless jam.
But Sacre Bleu.
Lots of action.
And also able to eat a whole lot of time off of that clock.
Right.
Most of the time you would have a hit and quit it situation where the time would maybe be 45 seconds, if that, in a jam. And this way he was able to eat up a whole lot more time.
So the blockers moving away from the notorious RED jammer line. Jamming for the BisMan Bombers, number 7, Evan Rude. He is first out of the pack. Cal Hell jamming for the Cleveland Guardians.
Oh, and taking a huge shoulder
Cal
hit.
Hell still eligible to earn lead jammer status. Evan Rude was first through the pack. Did apparently maybe a no pass, no penalty. I didn't see exactly the circumstances. But he's through. He's picked up a grand slam. Cal Hell struggling with the pack. Evan Rude bounces around the outside of the pack, while the pack is concentrated on Cal Hell. Evan Rude able to complete another Rydell Skates Grand Slam, despite not being lead jammer.
Cal Hell having a really tough time against G of the BisMan Bomberz.
But the Guardians working on Evan Rude a little bit, trying to slow him down. He's picked up another 5 points. I believe that's a total of 15 for the jam.
And Cal Hell takes off that jammer panty, passes it on over to the pivot.
Beard Bard, number 88, he's done a couple of stints as a jammer. So again, following a strategy, putting somebody who jams quite a bit in the pivot slot to receive the star pass, and maybe, yeah, that was a wise move in that scenario.
Absolutely. It looks like Cal Hell's a little bit tired, and he's been jamming a whole bunch through this game.
He's been jamming and blocking quite a bit.
Yes.
Beard Bard, so this jam will proceed to the full 2 minutes. Neither jammer with lead status due to the star pass to Beard Bard.
Evan Rude knocked out. Looks like he was knocked out of bounds by Old School and is recycled all the way back.
So both jammers struggling with the opponent packs. Evan Rude takes a big hit from Old School to the infield. Beard Bard drawn all the way back by G. Jam times out. No points for the Guardians.
And 4 points for the...
No, 4 points for the Guardians, excuse me. 2 for the Bombers.
That's bringing our score now 213 points for the BisMan Bomberz to the Cleveland Guardians 78. As we have a little over 11 minutes left in this game. We got a full staff on track.
That's right. Ferret Bueller wearing the jammer star for the Guardians. Clubber Ducky jamming for the Bombers. Each team with a full complement of blockers on the track. Clubber Ducky finds a path to the outside. He's lead jammer.
And Ferret is really having a tough time. Off that jammer line, he was really running into his own blockers and couldn't quite make his way through. But there he goes, slips his way through with the most open hips I've seen in a while.
Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
He's actually skated a full lap of the track that way, forcing Clubber Ducky to call off the jam. Clubber Ducky picked up 3 points. Ferret Bueller, 0.
I'm lucky if I can get my hips to open like that for 5 seconds, much less the entire.
I'm lucky if I can just get upright on skates. So,
just a little more practice, yeah. Honestly, just a little patience. Before a couple years ago, I hadn't been on skates in 25 years.
Okay.
So you can do it. I'm a firm believer.
Okay.
So during this timeout, we would like to thank Rydell Skates. Rydell Skates with their unmatched quality and unmatched performance. And also Turnaround Skates. Turnaround Skates is your source for roller derby skates, protective gear, and apparel. They are the official skate tech of the tournament and offer wheel regrooving, bearing cleaning, and skate repairs.
Everything you might possibly need as a skater.
I'm going to be stopping over there later.
Notorious RED, Notorious by Notorious RED. Smell clean even if you play dirty. Get it here at Brouhaha at the Derby for All booth or order online at notoriousred.com.
Man, all of my disposable income gone this weekend, I'm telling you.
I think I think to the organizers that's maybe a feature, not a bug.
I also work in IT.
Okay.
So
Old School taking the jam star for the second time for the Guardians. He's jamming against Sacre Bleu. Old School almost shrugs off the block from Clubber Ducky. He has to go to the rear of the pack. That allows Sacre Bleu to earn lead jammer status for the BisMan Bomberz.
Cal Hell really gave him a hard time at the front of that pack, and even as a blocker, even though he's been doing a lot of jamming lately, as that backwards blocking position, was really able to slow down Sacre Bleu.
Sacre Bleu picks up 4 points. He will call off the jam. Waited till the exact moment when the Guardians jammer was coming to the pack.
He's burning
a few seconds off. And BisMan really seems to have tightened up the penalty activity the last several jams. That's allowed them to build a little bit of a lead here on the Guardians.
Absolutely. Keeping a full contingency of blockers on the track is it's only going to help you.
Right, especially when you're only skating with 7 to start.
Oh, man.
Ferret Bueller wearing the jam star for the Guardians. jamming against Rockin' Sock'em for the BisMan Bomberz. I think this is the first time he's taken the jam star so far this bout.
C-Pain faced him.
Bueller trying to get around G. He has earned lead jammer status. Just has to and unfortunately he incurred a track cut when trying to escape the pack the second time. That's going to put Rockin' Sock'em on the Sakatumi Power Jam. Ferret Bueller will visit the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. And as soon as I talk about somebody skating cleanup penalties, somebody goes to the penalty box.
Every time.
Rockin' Sock'em spins out of the triangle of doom there from the Guardians. He's picked up 5 points, a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Slowly approaching the pack, some offensive blocking there from Clubber Ducky. Rockin' Sock'em forced out by number 3, that is Revengineer. Clubber Ducky goes to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box for his trouble. Ferret Bueller has served his penalty stint. He's back out, eligible to score points. Rockin' Sock'em has completed another Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
We got 30 seconds left in this jam. That will go the full 2 minutes. And now both of those jammers finding some really strong defense walls.
And the Guardians, a 4-on-3 pack advantage. Bueller shrugs off G, splits the pair. He is through. He's picked up 4 points for the Guardians. That breaks a little bit of a scoring drought for them. Rockin' Sock'em picks up 4 points for the Bombers. Oh, Ferret Bueller attempts the apex jump. Spins out to the inside as the jam time's up, but he did pick up 4 points. So
Snag.
8 points on that jam for the Guardians. Score stands now at 234 to 76.
And Ferret Bueller pretty happy about that last scoring pass, able to pick up those points on that last jump. And lining up behind that notorious RED jam line, it looks like the top scorer for the Guardians. Oh, wait, he's not actually.
Alchemist Prime jamming for the Guardians, jamming against number 7, Evan Rude.
Yep. Looks like Cal Hell actually is now the top scorer for the Guardians.
He did jam quite a bit.
He did.
Evan Rude skates through the pack like a bunch of traffic pylons. Their blockers are scattered all over the track. He's picked up a Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
My.
Apex jump from Evan Rude.
That would have been over my head.
Yeah.
I think he literally would have been jumping over my head.
He got up in the air pretty well there. Jam is completed. BisMan with a 243 to 86 lead. 6 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the second period of play.
And as we're coming up to the next jam, it looks like we've got 4 blockers on each side and 2 jammers. This is fantastic. I love it when you have a full strength jam.
It's an all skate. Number 0, London Mauling jamming for the Guardians against number 24, Sacre Bleu. London Mauling forced out by Clubber Ducky. He has to recycle. Sacre Bleu bounces off a block from C-Pain. He's through the inside. He is lead jammer for the Bombers. And London Mauling picks up a track cut penalty. He will visit the Potawatomi Hotel Casino penalty box. And that puts the Bombers on the Sakatumi Power Jam. Sacre Bleu picks up the 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Guardians with a 4-on-3 pack advantage. Pack comes to a halt between turns 1 and 2. Sacre Bleu stops, chooses his path carefully, spins out of the last block, and completes another Rydell Skates Grand Slam. BisMan content to leave the pack at a standstill. London Mauling has finished his penalty, has exited the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. Both jammers doing battle in the pack. Sacre Bleu has picked up 4 points. His hands are on his hips. London Mauling out of the pack on his initial pass.
And it looks like Revengineer is off the track. He has committed his last penalty and has been escorted out of the track arena.
And that jam times out. Sacre Bleu picks up 2 more points.
And we have a timeout called.
And it appears to be an official timeout.
It is.
Hands are on the shoulders of the jam timer. And we're just waiting for that to be resolved. Number 52, Cal Hell, will retake the jammer star for the Guardians. Black Mage will wear the jam star for the first time for the BisMan Bomberz. And the cheer you may have heard on the other track, we've got the Gotham girls skating against Minnesota.
Looks like
and
Minnesota
it's the first time in the half, perhaps, that Minnesota has picked up lead jammer status. And they are finally on the scoreboard. Score stands at Gotham 101, Minnesota 2. So that's what's happening on the other track right now.
And the lovely thing is that you can see all of the players on the track for this bout cheering on the Minnesota Roller Girls as they got their first lead jam.
Tracks are separated, but there is not much soundproofing.
There is no soundproofing whatsoever.
Pretty much none.
Yeah, so it's kind of tough because whistles have been an issue the whole day.
Yes, they have.
And it's also just hearing the different voices. You're not sure what's going on. You hear penalties called on either track.
Right.
So really confusing for all of the players out here.
So there is definitely appears to be some very pleasant camaraderie among the skaters as they wait out the official timeout.
And as the camera angle, you just saw how 2 tracks are right here, right on top of each other, with only a curtain separating them. So it is requiring a whole lot of concentration from everybody here to know what whistles are yours.
Right.
There's no way to know unless you're really paying attention.
Yes, you do have to just, maybe the best strategy is just to watch what's going on in your track.
Absolutely.
And try to block out what we've got going on the other track. Fortunately, the announcers, as you can see, we have headphones. We can block a lot of this out.
But unfortunately for the skaters on the track, we had the instance earlier where the jam was being called off on the other track, and the skaters on this track thought it was for them.
Exactly.
And just stopped skating. And all of a sudden the clock went down because one of the officials thought it was over, and all of a sudden the jam is called dead.
Right.
So that's, I think, going to be an issue as we continue on through the weekend.
Okay, it appears the issues have been resolved. This jam is underway. Cal Hell wearing the jam star for the Guardians against Black Mage for the BisMan Bomberz. He's a new jammer. And Alchemist Prime being sent to the penalty box. Black Mage being recycled to the rear of the pack again.
Alchemist
Cal
Prime.
Hell just digging his shoulder into Evan Rude. Unfortunately, he goes to the inside. That gives Black Mage enough time to earn lead jammer status for the BisMan Bomberz. Pack at a standstill at the exit of turn 2. Black Mage spins out of the last 2 Guardian blockers. Cal Hell getting recycled by Evan Rude.
Having a really tough time trying to get through that pack.
Black Mage calls it off. He had picked up a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 5 points for the Bombers. Their lead now stands 265 to 86 with just over 3 minutes remaining in the bout.
Cal Hell has been used in almost
He has been a
jam.
Workhorse this bout.
Absolutely, without question. And doing some really excellent blocking on top of some stellar jamming.
And C. Payne has been sitting on 5 penalties, I believe, since the start of the second half.
I believe so.
And he's skated clean. Now, he'll probably do something in this jam now that I've talked about it. Clubber Ducky jamming for the BisMan Bomberz. He is lead jammer.
Hot on his heels.
That is a new jammer for the Guardians, number 5, Whiskey. And Whiskey, unfortunately, has picked up a track cut that will put the BisMan Bomberz on the Sakatumi Power Jam. Whiskey headed to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. Clubber Ducky through the pack. He's picked up the Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Full complement of blockers on the track for both teams. Pack at a standstill at the entrance of turn 3.
And Cleveland pushing.
Alchemist Prime, C-Pain working on Clubber Ducky.
And there's that penalty we were talking about. C-Pain being called for a clockwise block and being sent off to that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Oh, no, he's actually not going to the penalty box.
Or maybe they called the penalty on another skater, or he just overshot the penalty box.
I'm not sure if he that's what it was. He was past the point of no return. So he had to go all the way around before he could sit down.
Beard Bard delivering a big block on Clubber Ducky, forcing him to recycle all the way into turn 3. Whiskey has served his penalty time. Clubber Ducky around the outside. That is another Rydell. That is 4 points. 4 points for the BisMan Bombers. Not a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Whiskey recycled into turns 3 and 4. Ferret Bueller trying to help him out at the rear of the pack. Whiskey forced again to the outside by Rockin' Sock'em. Jam is called off.
So now with less than a minute to go, we will get one more jam left in this game. And the BisMan Bombers sitting at 285 points to Cleveland's 88. And you know what? Despite that lopsided score, you have to say this really is a kind of victory for Cleveland. This is their first tournament, their second ever bout.
Right.
They've really
their second ever bout against a men's team. They did bout once against a WFTDA team.
That's right.
That was not sanctioned, but it's bout experience for them.
Absolutely.
Black Mage wearing the jam star for the BisMan Bombers. Jamming for the Guardians, that's number 30. That's number 12, Sinisation. Excuse me, I almost said number 32. And Black Mage has picked up a forearm penalty. The Cleveland Guardians will get a Sakatumi power jam in the last jam of the bout. And this jam will now go the full 2 minutes as Black Mage lost lead status.
Sinistation trying to make his way through that pack, but it looks like, he got a track cut.
He incurred a track cut penalty. Doing a lot of fancy footwork with Sacre Blue. He, put a foot wrong.
Yep.
And he will visit the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. Black Mage back to the track for the BisMan Bombers on the Sakatumi power jam.
And Black Mage, it looks like served pretty much the entire penalty time, so not any.
Another jammer penalty for Black Mage.
Oh.
And when he takes a seat, Sinisation will return to the track with 35 seconds remaining in the jam. Cleveland Guardians on the Sakatumi power jam. Ferret Bueller trying to deliver an offensive block. Sinisation forced to the inside. He'll have to recycle to the rear. Calhel, Ferret Bueller trying to do some offensive blocking for their jammer. G has slipped back to the rear of the pack.
Oh, and really giving some hard booty blocks there to Sinisation. Some great positional blocking in these waning seconds, and that's the game.
That is the game. Unofficial final score. The BisMan Bombers 285, the Cleveland Guardians 88. Hugs and handshakes all around. And soon these teams will gather to take their handshake lap with the gathered fans.
Absolutely. And like you said, this a tough situation for Cleveland to come into, but despite everything against them, they really played their heart out.
They did.
They did a great job.
This is a big improvement on their first result against a men's team.
Absolutely.
They lost. The final margin here is 197 points. Mm-hmm. So, they held on. They hung in. They kept the margin at around 100 points for probably half of the second period. And it maybe just experience, maybe a little bit of fatigue, because they had some skaters that skated a lot of jams despite having a larger roster than the BisMan Bombers.
Absolutely.
They hung right in, and they did very well.
So they did a great job, and a friendly bunch of guys Giving all the Derby love to everybody out there.
Yeah, everybody's all smiles at this point. You know, sometimes you might think when a team loses a bout by 200 points, there's hard feelings.
And also,
does not appear to be the case here.
No, not at all. And we also have to give a lot of credit to the BisMan Bomberz, who played that entire game with only 7 skaters. And I can't even imagine.
They were sitting in. There were a couple skaters, some precarious penalty situations. They really tightened up their play, cleaned things up, and they were able to build their final margin from about 95 points to the final margin of 197.
And they were able to keep that rotation along. They kept it clean on that second half. And I just can't imagine the endurance that must take to have 7 skaters for an entire game. I'm not sure I could do that.
Very strong performance by both teams. Coming up next on this track, it is Houston against Treasure Valley.
Oh, fantastic.
Nice WFTDA bout. They've kind of alternated the men's and the women's teams here. So
that's next on this track. On the other track, in process, we have the Gotham Girls roller derby.
Against Minnesota.
138 points for Gotham against Minnesota's 12. And they have 2 minutes to go in that first half. So you can check that second half out. And once again, we would really like to thank everybody here. It's been a great time.
Yes, it has been.
Thanks a lot.
It's been a pleasure. She's OC Diva. I'm Biff Mix-a-Lot. We will be coming back to you, we will each be coming back to you in some form later in the weekend. So
absolutely.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks a lot, guys.
We're out.
Skates is proud to support the 2015 Midwest Brouhaha. We are a Derby-owned roller skate shop in Buffalo, New York. Our focus is providing our customers with innovative and quality skates, parts, and protective gear from all the top manufacturers. Our customers represent a variety of skating styles and backgrounds. Our boutique shopping experience focuses on finding the right skates and gear for you. We also add a bit of style with our fun accessories and clothing. Visit us in Buffalo or online at turnaroundskates.com.
Hi everybody, this is Zach here from Rydell Skates, and we're here to talk to you today about an exciting new product we have. This is our R-Fit footbed kit. It's designed to help alleviate pain and reduce some soreness that people commonly get while skating. First, let's talk about the R-Fit footbed itself. It's a high-density foam with a soft top cover on it. It allows for a lot more cushion and support for a safer and more effective skating session. On the back side, there's Velcro components that allow you to attach adjustable arch supports and heel wedges to it, which is really where all the customization comes in. Installed in the footbed is a blue arch support, which is neutral. There's also a red arch support, which is for high arches, and an orange arch support, which is for low arches. Installation and swapping them out is really simple. All you need to do is just peel the Velcro off and then install the new insert. The heel is another area of customization. You can use the included purple heel lift to elevate the heel in the boot, which can reduce heel slippage, irritation, or shin splints. Or you can use the included green heel wedge. It's angled, so depending on the way you install it, it can help correct pronation or supination issues. This metatarsal pad can be installed on the top side of the footbed to help reduce numbness in the toe and ball area of the foot. Getting the proper fit is really simple. What you'll need to do is take your existing insole out of your skates. Then all you need to do is line the two up on top of each other and trace and trim to fit. The R-Fit footbed kit is available now at any of our authorized retailers. And for more information, you can always visit our website at www.roller.rydellskates.com.
Come celebrate summer with the Dairyland Dolls, Saturday, June 20th and Saturday, July 11th at the Hartmeyer Ice Arena. Doors at 5, action at 6. But wait, there's more. The Dairyland Dolls will be shaking things up with a special outdoor exhibition bout on Saturday, June 27th during the Festival Food Shake the Lake celebration at the Monona Terrace. Event opens at 5, derby at 6. Come for derby, stay for fireworks. Find the derby in you. MadRollandDolls.com.
Turnaround Skates is proud to support the 2015 Midwest Brouhaha. We are a Derby-owned roller skate shop in Buffalo, New York. Our focus is providing our customers with innovative and quality skates, parts, and protective gear from all the top manufacturers. Our customers represent a variety of skating styles and backgrounds. Our boutique shopping experience focuses on finding the right skates and gear for you. We also add a bit of style with our fun accessories and clothing. Visit us in Buffalo or online at turnaroundskates.com.
Hi everybody, this is Zach here from Rydell Skates, and we're here to talk to you today about an exciting new product we have. This is our R-Fit footbed kit. It's designed to help alleviate pain and reduce some soreness that people commonly get while skating. First, let's talk about the R-Fit footbed itself. It's a high-density foam with a soft top cover on it. It allows for a lot more cushion and support for a safer and more effective skating session. On the back side, there's Velcro components that allow you to attach adjustable arch supports and heel wedges to it, which is really where all the customization comes in. Installed in the footbed is a blue arch support, which is neutral. There's also a red arch support, which is for high arches, and an orange arch support, which is for low arches. Installation and swapping them out is really simple. All you need to do is just peel the Velcro off and then install the new insert. The heel is another area of customization. You can use the included purple heel lift to elevate the heel in the boot, which can reduce heel slippage, irritation, or shin splints. Or you can use the included green heel wedge. It's angled, so depending on the way you install it, it can help correct pronation or supination issues. This metatarsal pad can be installed on the top side of the footbed to help reduce numbness in the toe and ball area of the foot. Getting the proper fit is really simple. What you'll need to do is take your existing insole out of your skates. Then all you need to do is line the two up on top of each other and trace and trim to fit. The R-Fit footbed kit is available now at any of our authorized retailers. And for more information, you can always visit our website at www.roller.rydellskates.com.
Come celebrate summer with the Dairyland Dolls, Saturday, June 20th and Saturday, July 11th at the Hartmeyer Ice Arena. Doors at 5, action at 6. But wait, there's more. The Dairyland Dolls will be shaking things up with a special outdoor exhibition bout on Saturday, June 27th during the Festival Food Shake the Lake celebration at the Monona Terrace. Event opens at 5, derby at 6. Come for derby, stay for fireworks. Find the derby in you. MadRollandDolls.com.